Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Let's all go to the game shop. Let's all go to the game shop. Let's all go to the game shop and buy ourselves some tabletop role-playing game swag. What's up, nerdy McNerd-nerds? It's your favorite boy here, coming to you live from a gloomy Wednesday morning. It's about 9:40 in the morning on this, the 24th day of January, 2024. And it's time to see what, if anything, on the shelves of our friendly local game store looks worth of buying this week. That is, if you are lucky enough to live in a city that has a friendly local game store, and that friendly local game store, it has the wherewithal to actively be supporting role-playing. Unless you live where I live, where you're within a 20-minute drive of about 6 to 9 stores that would qualify as a friendly local game store, none of which actively support role-playing for reasons I still don't understand. And it's weird how this topic has come up a lot lately in the last 2 weeks, and why Ventura is a tabletop role-playing game dead zone. It is a long, long story, and if you guys really want me to get into it, that would be the topic of a separate video. But yeah, I live in a tabletop role-playing game dead zone. But the rest of you, I assume, do not. So let's read off some stuff. But of course, if I say anything that you're interested in, call your shop ahead of time to make sure they have it in stock. And if they don't, if they can get it for you. Thank you again, ENWorld, for providing us with these links. Unfortunately, ENWorld has got a lot of ads running on their site now. So yeah. From Free League Publishing, we have Building Better Worlds for, well, specifically aliens, but I suppose you could also use it for any sci-fi type game. It's $47. It's a complete campaign to run full open world campaigns where you explore and do spacey type stuff. It's got 6 expeditions and uncharted space. More words that sound really cool in the description, like open world and space and uncharted and frontier. Basically, it's a Building Better World, so it's a module, adventure, and a guide for planet, spaceship, space adventure building. If you haven't ever had a chance to get Stars Without Numbers, this would probably be the next best bet, but $47 is a little pricey. I love Free League. Their stuff, man. From Ratty Incante, first word R-A-T-T-I, second word I-N-C-A-N-T-A-T-I. I don't know if that's the individual's name or the company's name. I think it means incarnate rat or rat incarnate in Italian. We've got the Volpral Almanac and Worldling Tales of Teeny Gods. These are both for 5e and the OSR. So basically any type of D20 fantasy. Vorpal Almanac is $31 and Worldling's Tale of Teeny Gods is $19. The Vorpal Almanac is said to have been written by the goddess of swords herself, and it includes 22 magical swords and descriptions of those magical swords, dark history, and lore. So for $31, you can get a book describing 22 magical swords. Worldlings, Tales of the Teeny Gods is a lore book about animalistic gods and spirits, and the stuff that they can get up to. So looks like it's got some new spells, adventuring parties, 12 teeny gods and the hiding places they hide, 12 summoned beings, 5 polluted beings, and a mini hex crawl with 12 points of interest. So sort of a campaign setting / monster manual / description of a sort of this more, weird Miyazaki, but slightly terrifying world of teeny little gods trying to keep their little teeny chunks of the world safe. From Legendary Games, we have Dragon Horde issue 35, 36, and 37, all running about $12 each. Issues 25, 35, 36, and 37 contain magical items, new monsters, new races, new classes, new articles, new interviews, new adventures, new subclasses, all for D&D 5e 2023. Because this is the part where I go off on a tangent again about Wizards of the Coast keeping us all waiting. It must suck to be Legendary Games, having no idea what's going to happen this year with Wizards and 2024 D&D, and if there's going to be a new OGL and a new SRD, and if they want to continue to support 2024 D&D, what, if anything, are they going to have to change? Or is there still a market for people who play 2014 through 2023 D&D that they would still be able to make Dragon Horde issues, knowing that those people are going to still buy them and not jump over to 2024. I did a thing yesterday about how 2024 D&D's biggest competitor is going to be 2014 through 2023 D&D, or D&D OG versus D&D New Coke. And it just matters of where the loyalty lies. Are people going to jump ship over to New Coke D&D, or are they going to stay loyal to Classic Coke D&D? It's going to be an interesting year. From Crucible 7 for Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing, we have Archives of the Empire for $35. It's a collection of articles, everything from setting up a business in the world of Warhammer Fantasy, all the way through new types of magic, spells, cults, gods, familiars, witches, wizards, talents, districts in the city, a campion, some NPCs. Basically just bits and bobs to fill in the holes in the ever-expanding, exciting world of Warhammer Fantasy Warplay, especially since they're about to switch over to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, the old world. From Renegade Games Studios, we have Dark Skies of Equestria for $45. This is an adventure set in the world of My Little Pony, but it gets all dark, which means maybe it, features Nightmare Moon and the other villains of Equestria. Also introduces a new threat called the Changelings. And of course, we've got Twilight Sparkle and Rainbow Dash and Applejack and all our girls out there to keep us safe. From Exalted Funeral, we have Crush Death Apparition for $15. It's a eerie horror standalone adventure zine for 3 to 5 players. Looks like it's about a submarine. So instead of being in space, it's a submarine underwater-based horror game. So you're now in the ocean and you're doing stuff and terror happens. It doesn't say what system it's for, so I guess the system and the game is all in one. So the system game is Crush Death Apparition. So it's submarine horror instead of outer space horror. I think there's a submarine horror video game out called Iron Lung or something like that. So it's probably inspired by that. But hey, we haven't done underwater horror in a while. Everybody's been doing outer space horror. Maybe it's time to get back to, underwater horror. Let's face it, we still have only explored like 13% of the ocean. We know more about the moon than we do about the Marianas Trench. And there are some frightening things in the deep parts of the ocean. That's it. $50 for a world building guide for spacey space stuff. From Free League, there are probably cheaper things out there that do it. This is going to have a lot of cool art, though, and a lot of good information. And if you can't get a copy of Stars Without Numbers, this might be the second best bet. I got nothing on these. I mean, just weird, obscure, esoteric type stuff. These are always good. If you can find these and you play whatever system they're supporting, it's always a great way to just get a bunch of different individuals' take on game in question. Can't turn down some love for Warhammer Fantasy. My Little Ponies, of course, rocking the world. And then Underwater Terror. And as somebody who is afraid of water and large bodies of water, the ocean is frightening. Lakes are frightening. Water is scary. It's probably more scary than space. I mean, because there's things in the water. You go into space, the only thing you have to worry about is space. Maybe you land on a planet, and maybe there's aliens, but really the biggest threat in space is the fact that space. You go in the water, there's millions of things that want to kill you. So there we go. Again, call ahead to your game store of choice and make sure they have them in stock. And if you guys ever want to hear me do the story again of why Ventura doesn't have any game stores, let me know. Otherwise, that's it for today. The moon is easier to get to than the Marianas Trench. We know more about outer space than we do about the ocean. And there's probably more scary things in the ocean than there are in outer space. Like Cthulhu and Sharknado. Till next time, I'm the OGGM. If you appreciate this nonsense, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, buy my amazing merch available on Lulu, link down below, and be careful out there where it looks like we're going to have more weather and not the fun kind. That's all.